welcome to this video. I'm George from the channel Untraveled Road and I'm here in the Teide National Park. Actually, I was supposed to start my island crossing this weekend. Should be actually sleeping today near the top of Teide, but everything came a bit different and it's basically a sandstorm at the moment here. Not really a sandstorm, but some sand that's carried from the Sahara to here. And I decided, because of the harsh conditions, basically to delay my island crossing for 1 week. But I thought I nevertheless want to use this weekend, and I'm basically now on a scouting mission. Today and tomorrow I will hike around the Teide, get a bit of a feeling of the area and also test my equipment. I have today basically the same setup that I will have on the Teide for the island crossing. I already started my first meters and I will search for a place to have breakfast. I didn't eat anything today yet. This sandstorm is a meteorological phenomenon that affects the Canary Islands quite often. The trade wind coming from northeast is usually responsible for the weather in the Canary Islands. During a Calima, although, the direction changes and the wind comes now from southeast, from the direction of the Sahara, bringing from there warm air and with it very fine sand or dust, which can result in heavy dust in the air, especially here in the Canary Islands in Cape Verde, but also sometimes far beyond. Beginning of 2020, the Calima was so strong that it was for 2 days not possible for airplanes to land in the Canary Islands. A phenomenon that was actually for me really special to see, but well, not on the weekend where I wanted to make the island crossing. The forecast predicted snow and ice on Mount Teide, and since I don't have any ice spikes, it would be irresponsible to continue. Even though I hike instead lower, it should be still very chill up here, since the Calima is affecting and lowering the temperature up here. Additional, today and tomorrow there are heavy winds predicted, between 50 and 80 km/h. So perfect conditions for me to sleep out. But for now, back to the important things. Breakfast. That was officially the shortest hike before making a break. The coming here was quite difficult because I ended up in the wrong town. So it's already pretty late, it's now 1 o'clock. Today I will try to make 20-25 kilometers, so I need to speed up a bit, but I didn't eat anything in the morning. Mount Teide. So close. If you're below sea level, you can feel the sand and dust while breathing. And even here on top, I felt affected by it. Now, let's make some distance. Not sure if you can see this on the camera, but there's this dark line. This is basically dust. It's really quiet. It's crazy. Very, very quiet. I also thought like this trail would be more crowded, but since I'm here on the smaller track and left the bigger one, I don't see anyone anymore. The Teide National Park is the 8th most visited national park in the world, so I was very worried it might be overcrowded. So I was very glad actually when I found myself pretty much alone on this trail. I guess the regular tourists go only on the well-known trails, which is great for me. Whew. Very important, if you're above 1500, you should start tracking your water consumption and make sure that you drink enough. Rather drink more than too less. There is a small obstacle. It says military zone and it's entry forbidden. It's quite weird because it is our official route. I decided my trousers, my shirts, my shoes are all military brands. So I think that counts, that I'm allowed to go here. No, I think it's actually only forbidden for cars. Let's hope I don't break any law, but it didn't seem like very serious block. The street was blocked, but left and right there was no fence or anything. I guess it's just for cars. If not, my apologies to the Spanish military.
Well, let me tell you a little something about me. When it's Saturday night, I need to blow off some steam. 1, 2, 3, 4! Well, I've been rolling in since the clock came Monday morning. From the end of the week, I'm bound to blow. We're walking to the honky tonk like a pack of wolves now. Order up around the shops and it's away we go. It's a throw down, get down.
how crazy these cliffs look like. It's like really a crater like this. To the Teide. This 2,200 to 2,400 high plateau was created by the collapse of the Las Canadas volcano, which actually reached once an altitude as high as Teide. What remained of it is the plateau, together with some interesting rock formation and ridges that you can find almost everywhere in the Teide National Park. Those I will follow by the way today and tomorrow, and make some camp along the way. Almost 6:14. That means I'm gonna have half an hour more, and then I'll try to find some spot to make my camp. It's getting pretty chill, and what I realize is that there is no noise. That's my watch. What I realized is there's no noise or anything. It's completely silent. The only thing is me and the wind. Crazy. Nice little side story. Normally if I hike I turn my phone off to save the battery, but apparently I forgot and it was ringing and my dad called me, and I realized that up here I have 5G internet connection. So I am now on 2,500 elevation in the middle of, well, not in nowhere, but in a not busy part of the park, and here's just 5G. It's amazing. Somewhere there I will make camp. Okay, it's a bit too visible. The road is here, and here everybody can see me. So maybe, just maybe, behind this bush. Having found a spot to pitch my BV gave me some few minutes to enjoy the sunset and this surreal view, before it got dark and before the most unpleasant part of sleeping in the cold begins.
Windows wide, the curtains fly to catch the evening breeze. Without you here to keep me warm, believe I'd rather freeze. Believe I'd rather freeze. And how long can we walk?
Let's go back to the not so nice things. I need to put layers on, like merino underwear, extra t-shirts, extra pullover, extra socks. But for this I need first to get rid of some layers and strip. And let me say, this is only the second most unpleasant thing. Put a comment down and guess what is the most unpleasant thing of sleeping out there in the cold. Eventually though I made it and I changed. And I made already my camp, so now it's time for dinner. Made my camp. BV stands, have everything on ultralight equipment, so the BV is very basic. Anyways, also for the whole Teide tour I will make a complete loadout where I will show you what I took and also show you my learnings that I sort of got from this tour now. I will cook now. I have today fish, curry and rice. So, I finished food and brushed my teeth. It was really terrible because the water was so freezing cold. But yes, I managed. I'm clean, and I boil now some water because I put it into one of my water bubbles, well, with 60-70 degrees, something like this. And then I forgot my tea, so I don't have any tea with me. But at least I have some warm water. I can put it in a sleeping bag, warm up a bit, and also drink a bit. And the water is then warm and not freezing cold. Other than that, the other water that I've left I take into the sleeping bag so it doesn't freeze overnight. But yeah, all in all, optimistic. Food was good, good fish curry, and yeah, just waiting now the water to be finished and then to the bed. In the BV, ready to sleep. I will read some more minutes and then sleep. Good night. It is around 3 o'clock now, and I think I wake up every 10 minutes. It's so cold. I think it's around 5 o'clock, so there it is. I didn't sleep much. My biggest problem is the feet. I feel like they're freezing. I think 1 or 2 hours more and then it gets light. And it should heat up a bit, hopefully at least. The sleeping bag is definitely not warm enough. I hope I can sleep a bit more. I put another jacket on my feet, it should help now.
Coffee every morning, whiskey every night. The room is lit with candles and a fire in your eyes. We are lace and leather as I lay by your side. I know I want you here, I just don't know why. The only way I can survive. Coffee every morning and whiskey every night. Blow the candles out and think about my life.
Good morning. It is cold, very cold. I will make camp very fast and warm up. And the horrible moment of leaving the sleeping bag. Look at this. That's ice. My sleeping bag is frozen. Yeah, it's completely frozen. Crazy. I'll make some steps to warm up a bit. It's colder than I expected. It's a good learning for the island crossing. That was my night setup. It's from Auto Research, the Helium BB, which is great and really ultra light. But one thing that happened was that there's a lot of condensed water was collected on the top, especially if I did closed. And I think all this condensed water froze. So if I make the whole island crossing, I definitely will not take this one. I will take the heavier micro tent because the Gore-Tex layer gives some additional protection. Oh no, I left the water bottle outside. Oh god, I thought I put it in. Frozen. There's ice here. A lot. Look at this. The whole sleeping bag is frozen on the side. But for this, inside it was pretty warm. Frozen. Frozen. Cool. So, camp is made and I'm making some breakfast and some coffee. I took a bit longer because I needed to warm up, so yeah. It was pretty cold. It's still now, I think, -3 degrees. My watch, obviously it depends on how accurate it is because I just put it temporarily out. Say it's something between -6 and -9. Surprisingly positive was the sleeping bag, so even though it froze off the outside, inside it was relatively warm, of course, and especially in the feet area it got then cold and I had to put on the thick jacket during the night. But all in all it was actually very positive, surprising, especially because the extreme temperature limit for this sleeping bag is -14. So very good actually. Big downside is the BB, from Auto Research, the Helium BB. It's super light, that's why I like it and I love it for it. But in alpine environment I also had this on Pico Ruivo. If you close it, there's too much condensed water collecting inside. So basically it was dropping wet. And then in the night it got colder and all this wetness froze basically. So the whole roof of the BB was completely frozen, which was very annoying because sometimes I pushed the roof and then some snow or ice fell in my face. I slept now on 2,500 meters, something like this. For the island crossing I will sleep at 3,000 meters. So there are two learnings. First of all, I will take the micro tent because the Gore-Tex A gives me a bit of additional protection. If it freezes, inside is everything perfect. Plus, if I close it completely, I can breathe properly. Obviously, I make a full loadout with the learnings before and after, and also from this session here. But basically, I don't have so many sleeping bags with me. I didn't expect
obviously to go like a lot of mountain tours, and I have limited equipment by traveling around. What I probably will do is I get a cotton liner that costs 24 euros just as an inlet for the sleeping bag, so there are some additional insulation. Generally, this is also very important in any alpine environment. Always make sure that you have the right equipment. The sleeping bags normally have a comfort limit and the extreme limit. The extreme limit is basically just saying that you don't die from hypothermia or so on, but you will not have a great night of sleep. Normally I would have taken for Carnicería the Defense 4 or Defense 6. They go I think up to minus 30 degrees, because you can always open the sleeping bag if you're too hot. But as I said, I travel around, I have only limited capacity that I can carry, and also I wanted actually to have this challenge because I wanted to push the limits from the XP top. But for this it's very important, never do this if you're not knowing what you're doing. It can be really dangerous. Good, I will make breakfast now. I'm nevertheless in a really good mood. I'm like super hyped. I like these things of pushing my body a bit and challenging. Alright, I got my coffee. Cheers. And slowly I feel my toes again. This is the worst moment. I need to change. There's too many layers to start hiking. Whew. And it's now in the sun, 3 degrees. Oh. Whew. Now I'm awake. I will just hike. I will start hiking so I feel a bit cold, because obviously I will produce heat.
Camp made, coffee finished, and well, how to say best, pretty disgusting berry pudding ate. Ready to hit the road and already making my first kilometers. The first part of the day is along these cliffs, until I will hike up one of these mountains. On top here I was able to see the blue sky, which was the first time since a few days because of the Calima. On sea level, although, you could still see the dust and the sand in the sky.
Down there is the sea. I can't see it because there's still dust. Less than yesterday, but still here's everything full of the dust. Climb now on top of the cliffs. It's getting quite steep up, but that's what I like. Excited! And it looks super surreal. Also here must have been a big bushfire. All the trees are burned, like a bit of an apocalypse. Also with this dust, and it seems I'm the only human on this trail. Maybe it is the apocalypse and I'm the last human here in the Teide National Park. And there is no water. I will not survive very long. But it's beautiful. It's a bit surreal, but beautiful. Here at the cliff, the wind goes like crazy. I try to speed up here. I'm too lazy to put another jacket on, because on top I will be protected from the wind again, and it will be too hot. So, morning exercise. Let's get up this little hill.
Remember what I told you in the beginning of the video? For today there are high winds predicted. The night was pretty calm, but for today it should be between 30 to 50 km/h. And in the late afternoon to the evening there is even a storm with 100 km/h predicted. And slowly I could feel that the wind got stronger.
So the next part of the trail, as I showed you, goes now up this cliff. And the wind comes exactly from here, and this is obviously not that wind thick. So I put under it this vest, which is completely windproof. It should give me an extra layer just protecting the body. Time to fill up some calories. It's a vegan biological energy gel that has around 120 calories, so it's a good energy booster. Tastes like honey. Ugh. Back on the trail. So there, from the top I'm coming from, I was hiking this path here all the way to the back, another side down, left,
and then down to this mountain.
After descending for a bit, my next challenge will be to climb up the Montaña de Guajara path. Before the arrival of the Europeans, this trail was already built and used by the Guanches. And in 1856 an expedition took this path with all the instruments to build the first high mountain observatory in the world on the summit of Guajara on 2,717 meters.
The wind is crazy! Seems to get stronger. Look at this. We're going up here. Let's go. There, we're coming from.
During my climb, the wind got noticeably stronger, but eventually I made it and I could add another summit to my logbook. I'm on top of the mountain. I don't say the name again because I will make a fool of myself. This is not the highest elevation, it's around 2,700, something like this. And I will have now lunch and enjoy the view to the Teide. Some tortillas, tuna cans, salami and cheese later, the next part of my journey began, climbing down to the plateau. And from there I will need to hike a few kilometers till a hotel where I should be able to take a bus back home.
Yesterday we were behind these cliffs and somewhere on the right side down, somewhere here down, I made the camp. Now I'm climbing down to this dirt road that you see here and follow then the dirt road for some kilometers till this restaurant, village, hotel, whatever.
With a good speed I reached relatively fast the plateau, and now I just need to follow this dirt road for some kilometers. Which sounds super boring, right? Well, I thought so too, but these views were just crazy stunning.
Well, my road, he flew to another nation, 'cause our country's ruled by corrupted races, and our president's a non-scored rapist. How can a country go so wrong? I don't mind if I take my next paycheck. It's time to stand together, my brother. Fight the ground.
That was the Scouting the Teide adventure. I really hope you liked it. If you did, give a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments what kind of equipment would you have taken. Also, while this video is published, I'm already in the next island. I'm here in Gomera, ready to discover this island before I hit back to Tenerife for making my island crossing. If you don't want to miss that, subscribe to my YouTube channel. This also helps making projects like this possible. And to stay up to date, join me on my Instagram. See you next week for a new adventure. Ciao, ciao.